eerily realistic motion. The video's real cheesy, I warn you.
Pop, pop, pop music, pop, pop, pop music.
Not that, this part. Whoops. Autofocus. So anyway, that's that example. "60 Hertz motion, as you just saw, is very close to the limit of the brain's ability to actually discern individual events in time. So it's eerily realistic. Again, if you can avoid the rebuffering issues, because that pretty much kills the illusion. Another thing you can do, if you can update the screen 60 times a second, is that you can actually get a better conversion. Hopefully the image on the right looks better than that on the left. If you keep track of errors during the conversion, you can push them forward. You can dither them forward in time, much like Floyd Steinberg dithering tries to distribute errors left and right on the line as it scans down. And so you can create a second frame to be mixed with the first one that fills in the gaps in the error in the original conversion. And since the screen is updating 60 a second, it's fast enough that they kind of blend together. And so you get a result similar to the image on the right. Hopefully it looks a little bit better. If you look at the color gradations of maybe above his eye, the eye is rounder, for example. So you can pull that. If you wanted more resolution, you can also tweak CGA into a 50-line mode, where the first top 4 scan lines of each character is displayed instead of all 8. This doesn't give you any additional resolution. You don't get more resolution from this, but you do get more flexibility in choosing matches. So you can try to get a more higher res thing there. No, it displays the first 4 rows and then immediately switches to the next row. So what did I learn, and hopefully what can you take away from this, if anything? Know your output device. Having a goal makes it interesting and engaging. I specifically said 30 frames per second on this piece of crap. And so if you stick to that, I mean, that was the goal. That was the challenge, to keep going. And again, if you're trying to do something like video on a low resource, this is the same thing with demos too. If you want to write a demo for a low resource platform, focus on the specs of the machine and work backward from them. Don't try to start with an existing code you have for a 386 and port it. It's not going to be applicable. And know your audience. Know your input device as well. Know your audience and experiment. And challenge yourself, because stupid ideas are, for some reason, usually the most interesting to work on. I was going to talk more, but I'm afraid I'm out of time. No? Actually, I've got a little bit more. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to gripe. About 9 months after 88, this is extra, after 9 months after 88 Corruption was posted to Google and YouTube and viewed nearly 50,000 times, VH1 started showing these classic bumpers meaning like a piece of video you display between program segments or something. And it showed a PC of old vintage showing video mode with a cheesy MIDI soundtrack. It may have mostly been coincidental, but of course it caught my eye. Now this isn't going to play, but I do have it. If you want to see an example of what I'm talking about, give me a sec here. Very good. And that's part of my gripe, which I will get to in a second. I hope this works. Oh, you can see it. I can't. It's the overlay. All right, hold on. Let me switch audio sources here for a sec. Let's try this again. The first time I saw that, I thought that was cool. And then after I did, after I thought about it, it actually started to piss me off. Because, okay, hold on, let me see if I get to the next slide here. Okay, well, obviously it's ripping off AAlib. No thought went into it at all. They just ran stuff through AAlib and converted it. The frame rate was unnecessarily low. I just showed you 60 frames per second on a dog shit piece slow machine, and then they've got a better one, and it's only doing 12. And the music was unnecessarily cheesy. General MIDI was bad, but it wasn't that bad. And here's the non-obvious gripes where I show you what an incredible nerd I am. Other things that pissed me off about this is that the distortion was inverted. Notice that the lines are actually thinner in the middle than they are at the end. That means the screen is bending inward, not outward. I never got that. After the whips, there's no sync. It's not a real text mode, for example. Yes, I actually counted the letters. And most importantly, the computer used in the shot, as you notice, was a PS1. That's a 386 with VGA. It's capable of actual video. They could have put up a Spectrum or something like that. Yes? They could have at least turned on the monitor. Very good. So that's about all I have. My email is here. You can download all of it. And after the con, I will have full source code up for everything. And as a perfectly shameless plug, please buy Mind Candy Volumes 1 and 2, which you can get from myself or Andy Voss, who's also in the audience. And that's it. If you have any questions, please feel free to see me. So, and before we go, are there any questions? Yes? Something like this? Well, that was certainly an inspiration. Probably a better thing was, did I look at like any text mode demos or something like that? Well, yes, the girl dancing was definitely an inspiration. State of the Art was one of the first Amiga demos I ever saw, and of course it blew me away. And I someday hope to reproduce that kind of video compression on this thing as well, but one step at a time. No, I didn't explicitly look to try to duplicate it. If I did, actually there was a demo in the late 90s for DOS that did in fact take video output from an emulator of State of the Art and run it through AALib, and that was it. And that was the demo. And it didn't look too good, as you can imagine. Actually, yes? CGA cannot, okay. Could I have modified the font table to get better matches? CGA does not allow you to do that. Now, if I had EGA or VGA, yes. But if I had EGA or VGA, I probably would have done a completely different track. I would have probably tried to do like the state-of-the-art vector stuff or something along. Actually, sorry. Yeah. No, I am pointing at you, sorry.
Okay. How big are these videos once you're actually pressing down?
Very small. They are minuscule. The Matrix one you saw was over a minute long, and it was, I'm going to have to wait. Okay, it takes about 15 seconds to do a directory listing on this. I apologize. I think it was about 5 meg total. You could load this onto a 10 meg MFM hard disk. It should still play if you have that old a machine. Yes, sorry about that. Yeah, it's 5.4 meg. So they're very small. I mean, each video frame is 2K, so multiply that out by 30 times a second, that's 60K, and then the audio is 22, so it's 82K a second. So they're pretty small. Yes?
Random question. How did you get the 5 meg file into that machine?
I have a Ethernet card that magically works in 8-bit mode, so I did that. But before that, I had a parallel cable, and I would do it with fast links. Yes, Andy? Where did I get the music from? For the original one? I shamelessly stole it. It's Goa Trance from the group Space Cat. It's a 2003 tune, and every time I heard it, that middle section, I kept thinking, wouldn't it be great to have that in a demo? So, anything else? Anyone else? No? All right, well, thanks for coming.